Welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Peer Guidance. We started Telling It Like It Is because we wanted to share knowledge, tell stories. It is live. If you have any questions, plop them in the comments. We will answer them. I would like to thank Bitvo for their sponsorship. They are Canada's premier cryptocurrency exchange. They have just released 4 new digital currencies. They are digital currencies, real people. Download their app today. It's scrolling across the bottom. It'll be in the comments section soon. I am extremely pumped about our conversation today. I consider ourselves almost colleagues because we both have a podcast. We both love talking to people. We could probably yammer on for an hour and a half, but you know, Tyler, thank you so much for coming on Telling It Like It Is.
Jade, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for putting me on the other side of the microphone, man. I'm usually on the other seat. It feels a little bit different. I love it.
I know, right? Like, holy, who's this dude asking me questions? I do this.
I got to be honest. It's a little more, I'm like, oh, I got to be prepared. I got to get ready. It's a whole different mindset coming in, knowing that I'm along for the ride. I love it.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing that, you know, I always like talking about. We met and we just reached out and I was like, I got to meet. I love what he's doing. I love the interviews he's doing. You do a lot of, you know, higher end profile type people. And I was like, I just love it. And I'm hoping that maybe, you know, if we meet, I could, you know, send him some people that I think would be really cool to have on his show and things like that. And of course, we had lunch here. We met a while ago. We had a call during COVID. We went out for lunch and you know, we kind of kicked it off as we have the same mentality.
I think, yeah, you're definitely one of my COVID friendships. And we actually met in real life probably like a month ago. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was better. I did really enjoy it. We had a good, you know, virtual relationship that was well-founded, but no, sitting down and meeting. And yeah, no, I llove what you're up to as well. And you've sent me some fantastic, you sent me Ali from Edmonton, a couple, what's his name? The Bitcoin guy who's awesome. He was a riot.
Oh, Adam O'Brien is awesome.
I love that guy. Like, man, that's a guy I want to have beers with because he's just like what he's doing is amazingly cool and also just a great guy. Yeah. I love Alberta. We've got a lot of like good people that are also doing really interesting things. And like, I know that feels so obvious to say, but when you hear the stories and you meet the people behind, you're like, oh, wow, like these are solid people. We've got a pretty cool ecosystem for that right now. And, you know, what you do is awesome. And it's been, I'm really excited to be on the show. So I will stop yammering on and get into the guest chair and out of the host chair.
More of you, less of me is a better show. So let's just put it up there that way.
Touche. Well said.
But I think that, you know,
the choice of being a good host right there.
Exactly. But that comment goes to exactly why I think we both started our shows. We didn't think that we were talking enough and we're shouting from the mountaintops and we wanted these people to get their stories out there. And before you know it, you know, not only you, there's other ones out there. And man, we have a lot of, I still think we have to do a better job of it. But I mean, we are telling and sharing a lot of stories.
How long have you been running, Telling It Like It Is? What's the timeline?
In January, it'll be 4 years.
That's amazing. Yeah, we just came up 2 years past and just the vibe of like, you know, and I got to be careful. Like, is it just of course, it's the people you talk to. When you talk to people that are doing exciting things, you tend to get a real positive view. But when I started it 2 years ago, the conversations felt very different than they felt, you know, two and a half years ago, pre-COVID. All of a sudden, like the evolution of our ecosystem, which I know is an overused word, which we can unpack a little bit, but it's not so much on the fringe anymore. There feels like there's legitimately some movement happening. There's stories being told. There's companies that are raising money. There's hires happening, people moving to the city. I'm really excited about the trend. Like, it's not just we need to tell it more. It's also happening more. And that's something that really jazzes me up.
I couldn't agree more. Right. And for a lot of different reasons, even we talked beforehand about the great things that Thin Air Labs is going to be doing, and they're launching their big fund that and what James is also doing right there and investing in a lot of ecosystem, leaving to grow his company, exiting and coming back and investing in what's going on here. Like it is a different vibe. It's awesome.
No, one of the things I'm going to, certainly want to chat about today is kind of my excitement and that like, if again, I got to do this on a whiteboard, but that chain of events of someone from an idea, an incubator phase, all the way through to maybe an exit, I'm starting to see those gaps fill in a lot more, especially when it comes to seed and pre-seed rounds, where there's more money available that is not the old money we used to have to chase and, go grovel at the bank. And anyone who's an entrepreneur has had that unjoyful experience. And amount of opportunity, and certainly I've been on a bit of a train myself right now, talking to early seed, pre-seed, venture capital investors, and really seeing that democratization of like also giving access to people to get involved in that space. But we're really starting to fill in a lot of the gaps. And like, to be honest, funding is the fuel for that fire a lot of the time. And if you can't get that, good ideas sit on the shelf or wait, until they go stale or miss their window.
Oh, couldn't agree more, right? And I'm on that train. I love investing in these early stage companies as well. So it is fun. It is. You've got so many smart people here with such great ideas, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the next 5, 10, 20 years, so to say, moving forward. But I mean, we've talked enough here, and I haven't even got to you, and I have this whole intro. But you know what? I'm not even going to do the intro, because I think by you telling the story about how you started your first company, I think it is the wackiest way to become an entrepreneur, finding their own company. And I really mean that in a good way.
I appreciate it. I took it as a compliment, Jade.
Exactly. When we're having pasta there at, on 17th, I was like, oh, this is a really cool story. I can't wait for you to tell it. So, have at her, share your story, Tyler.
Oh, well, it's long. Okay. This is the long story short. That's going to be my goal. That's my promise to you. I don't want your poor guest to be like, what is this guy going with this? Long story short, I was a commercial pilot. I moved to Calgary to fly back in 2000. And unfortunately, many of us will remember that in 2000, September 20, 2000, we had September 11th, and put my flying career on hold, which was, in hindsight, best thing that ever happened. Put me down another path. Ended up traveling in the US a little bit, getting involved in the fitness industry, moved back to Calgary and started a fitness company back before you could put, basically download free fitness on your phone. It was back before that. Built an online nutrition platform, built a brand, built a company, built a culture, and really fell in love with the concept of marketing and brand. Had an interesting experience. And I'll be very transparent, kind of sold that business, and that kind of went kind of sideways, got into some legal, got my MBA in selling a business and what can go wrong and what can go right. So moved on from there. And, my favorite story about how I got into marketing was basically never refuse a random cigar from a stranger at a backyard fire pit party. That's very specific, but I said yes to smoking a cigar with my now current business partner, and I became one of his clients. And he was a graphic designer, marketer, helped me a lot building my first business. And him and I decided in 07, 08, you know what, we should start an agency. And I was so passionate about the power of brand and the ability to create an identity, a personality, a persona for an organization that really allows you to connect to people. And the ability to make that kind of out of nothing, something about the creativity and the power that created. I got super excited about it. Got into it thinking I knew more about marketing than I did. I'd taken a couple courses back in school on top of my science degree. I'm always very transparent about my eclectic path. Commercial pilot, science degree, starts a marketing company. Makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah, normal.
Spent the first 2 years realizing I did not know what I thought I knew, and rapid fire learning. Started growing the company, winning some business, really connecting with clients. 08 happened. So we had a big recession, global recession. Calgary wasn't hit that bad at the time, but what it gave us was a lot of opportunity where companies were like re-looking at things, and it allowed some opportunity for a smaller, more scrappy startup to come in and do things different. And that really gave us our footing. And we started to grow the agency from there. And why I love the agency business so much, I would say I love marketing and I consider myself a marketer. But it was the amazing living, breathing ability to live inside of a case study. Every client, what are you really selling? How do you really make money? What's the client really value here? How do we communicate that message? What's happening in your industry? What are your competitors saying? The ability to be so creative and problem solving for businesses. But I always joke, I rolled over this big toolkit with marketing drawers, and there's so many drawers, but you really had to understand the business and what was happening there before you started to pull out the creative solution. Or at that time, pull out this new thing called Facebook, or geez, do we really need a website? And a lot of those questions that were still very real for companies in 07, 08, 09. So it's not long ago. The things we take for granted is just part of our ecosystem today. We're still very new for a lot of companies. And that problem solving and that creativity and that getting to know companies from a business perspective first, and then using marketing as the series of answers or tools to bring forward, I was hooked. And I've been doing that in one way or another ever since.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I mean, it's just such a cool story. And again, I'm a marketer too. I love marketing, and I want to kind of dive into something that you said there. Different stages, right? I mean, usually I do work with a lot of startups and early stage companies. And I mean, I know a lot of companies that you have some really good clients. And if you want to drop them here, you can name them. I'm not going to, but it's one of those things where, what does a company that's at a startup stage, like, is there something that they should be doing differently than, let's say, when they get to that 2 million and to the 10 million sale mark?
100%. We've been very privileged, and I thank you for opening the door. Two of our flagship clients, we are agency of record for Honda Canada. We manage all of their motorcycle, marine, ATV, and power equipment business out of the head office in Toronto. We won that business. That's a great little Calgary startup story, which I won't go too far into, but we were 9 people at the time, and we were the only non-Toronto agency at the table, and we won that business as the complete underdog. And that was a real yeah, absolutely. Like, that was a Calgary, like, who the heck are these guys from Calgary, and why the hell are they on this pitch? And we were able to provide value. And I'll be honest, we held on by our fingernails, because when you're 9 people, we went from 9 to 20 people in 3 months. Wow. And that's only 20 people. But when everything explodes, HR breaks, everything. So that really caused us to pull up our boots really quick. And we've been able to stay with that company and grow and hold on, been very privileged. We learned, when you have a client like that, you learn by trial by fire really quickly. And it was an absolute privilege. And then we work with Hopewell Residential here in town. And handle all of their work between Calgary and Edmonton. But the benefit of being in Calgary is there's a lot of small to mid-sized companies here. It's very entrepreneurial. Not that doesn't go in Toronto, but when you've got a big client like Honda, you're in a bit of a different world in terms of the way you work and you execute against. Working in Calgary, we got an opportunity to spend a lot of time taking some of the best practices and things we learned from these bigger brands and boiling them down for sometimes startups, sometimes early stage. And it's very different. Honda, Hopewell, these companies have a really good understanding of what their product is, what their value propositions are, what the customer cares about. When you're a startup, I find, some of the biggest advice I can say, and it sounds so obvious, but you're rarely building it for you, but a lot of times in a startup, that's how it got going. I like this idea. I fell in love with the idea. Did I fall in love with the problem? With these larger companies, they've really long ago identified, unless they're doing a big pivot or they're growing something into a new department or into a new marketplace, they know the problem they're solving and they know what their customers care about. It tweaks and it changes, but fundamentally they're comfortable. If you're falling in love with your idea as a startup, you're falling in love with your solution and how you've engineered it and thought it through, and you're not as in love with the problem as you are with the thing you created, that's a big problem. And we've run into some times when we did a lot of work with companies and we kind of believed them. And then we got to market and it was like, oh, this is not what the customer actually cares about. And I'll be candid, like sometimes agencies, we try to boil the ocean. And when you bring us in, we're going to do agency things. We're going to want to do brand and we're going to want to do web and we're going to want to spend a lot of money and a lot of time building this thing out that maybe you aren't 100% on yet. And it can create a lot of friction between the startup community and the marketing community that I think is just misaligned on what we're good at and what you need. But if you're really falling in love with the problem and you're really trying to beat up that product market fit, bringing in an agency that's going to give you kind of the agency treatment, it doesn't always line up and you've got to be very careful. And I've learned that lesson the hard way and unfortunately maybe soiled a few relationships because we did our thing, but they weren't really ready for our thing yet. And in hindsight, if I could do it again, I would do it different.
Well, I'm guessing you were able to use some of your own personal experiences of starting your marketing firm, figuring, oh my God, I did this wrong, and even working with companies like Honda. I'm sure you were able to take some of those experiences and say, hey, I can use this now helping, company XYZ.
100%. That's what everything's practice, right? Everything, my favorite is like, what's your best campaign? It's my next one because I'm learning and I'm building and I'm doing better next time. But really understanding the difference in terms of smaller companies and what they need and being really disciplined as a marketing company to maybe not do all the things that you want to do sometimes. And I'm speaking very personally. I can't speak for other agencies, but there is I joke, it's to boil the ocean. We try to boil the ocean. Like, as I'm a brand guy, so I love brand. But maybe that's not what you should be investing in before you even identify you've got that product market fit. Does your customer, if you think these are your competitive advantages, but they're not relevant to your customer, don't go do a marketing campaign about that. Don't go spend a whole bunch of time putting content in market that the customer goes, I don't care about that. Because you were so in love with that solution, you didn't necessarily fall in love with the problem. And I'm big on crowdsourcing. I'm big on get your baby out there and let people tell you it's maybe not as pretty as you think it is. And I've met a lot of, again, I'm speaking more product centric because we've got a town full of engineers, full of people that are educated, skilled, really passionate about the nuts and bolts. And like I joke, the 8-point font, 5,000 word white paper, they're super excited about, but we haven't got those lead messages in right. Like hierarchy, you're not going to get me to your white paper if I don't even get connected with the problem I think you're solving for me. And I think that takes a lot of discipline to do that well for smaller companies. And it's different for larger organizations, unless they're creating a new product or they're entering into a new market. But even then, you show up with Honda logo on your product, you've got some brand equity, you've got some trust, you've got some brand love that's been built over the last 50, 60 years. It's never going to be the same for a startup.
So what point do you think that a startup should really start focusing on their brand rather than their product, right? Trying to get it out there, trying to find if someone's going to buy it. Will they take it? Whether it's a packaged good or a SaaS. Like at what point would you think that would be, spend some money on branding, or maybe don't have to spend money, maybe just spending time on it?
It's a really good question. I feel like I'm contradicting myself. Like at the beginning, but it's to what degree?
Yeah.
Because you still have to know who you are and what you stand for. Like if you're going to be easy to work with, don't have 17 clicks on your website to get to your product. If you're going to be like really scientific, probably don't make jokes in your copy headline, because you're like, oh, I don't know if that feels inconsistent. I need someone I can really trust. So I still think there are some fundamentals that you need to stand for. It's almost, I would say, like from a brand perspective, really get your values right. Like if your company, brand's a fancy word for personality sometimes, if we just want to simplify it. What's that personality for your organization? And oftentimes it's a reflection of the founders. It's a reflection of who's creating it. But be careful with that as well. Like, yes, you should stand for what you stand for and believe in what you believe. But if it completely misaligns with who you think your customers are, like if you're the guy at the party that's always cracking jokes and saying inappropriate things, you might not get invited to certain dinner parties, but you might be the rock star at others. Really understand what dinner party you're trying to get invited to, and make sure there's some lineup there, and be okay that the brands your company might need to be relevant to your customers might not be who you are. And I think with founders, that's a real tricky balance, because the founders, the fire, when you work a lot with founders, like that's the fire and the secret sauce, but it can also be the hand grenade as well if you're not careful with how you roll it down the hallway.
There is no doubt. I love that. I'm just letting you know right now, I am stealing the dinner party analogy.
Please do. I'm sure I grabbed it from somewhere.
And I will quote you on that every time I use it. I said, I got this from Ballergism, the dinner party analogy.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate
that. That is fantastic. Again, I'm talking with Tyler Chisholm, the founder of Clearmotive and Collisions YYC. Both websites are in the comments section. Click on them. They'll take you directly there to find out more information. You can contact them right there as well. I kind of want to switch here to, you have two podcasts. I guess I only talked, only have one. I talked about one, but the Collisions YYC and They Just Get It. And we touched on it at the beginning that, why we started it, but let's dive into that a little more. Like, why two podcasts?
That's because I just had too much spare time in my hands and I really wanted to light it on fire.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like you got lots of time.
It was a chain of events, and one thing leads to another. And I saw it in a comic book. I'm pretty sure I could do it. I started They Just Get It. A couple of reasons. One, I was questing for what's my content platform. I don't like writing blogs. I had a bit of the shoulds, like, oh, you should put yourself out there. You should, contribute to the community. And I was like, okay, you always have to be careful when you should all over yourself. But in this case, I'm like, you know what? This is a gap for me. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I got a bit frustrated. This was my angst. You ever meet someone and they're talking to me about somebody else and someone who's successful, and they minimize their success in some way? Like, oh yeah, but their dad had money. They just got lucky. And I'm like, did you even know what's really going on there? Like, it felt kind of shitty. I got a little bit annoyed at it. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people in this city. And there was also 3.5 years ago when I started They Just Get It, the negative headlines abounded. Like the world was done. Oh my God, Calgary and the economy and the resource sector and the jobs. It's all real. But I said, wow, I know about all these cool people doing great things that, and this really started my buddy, Billy Friley, who owns Village Ice Cream, iconic Calgary brand. And I remember when Billy was driving around in the middle of January, going door to door downtown at the office towers, trying to get the receptionist to sample his ice cream so that spring they could book an ice cream party. But everyone looks at it now and go, oh, wow, he's so lucky to have that business. I'm like, luck had very little to do with it. Like, there was hard work and hustle. So I was like, I'm going to have Billy on and talk about, because I think I don't know if you know this, but if I've ever had the experience, be like, that guy gets it. He gets it. We all kind of know what it means, but no one really defines it. So They Just Get It. I'm like, I'm going to define this by just talking to people. And I booked Carleen Donnelly, executive director of Cups. I built Chad Hughes, who started Land Solutions and Dogtopia. And I booked Billy Friley. I kind of stacked the guests with 3 people I know, liked, and knew I could have a chat with. I recorded the first 3 episodes, and I was like, I love this. This is really fun. I like the version of me that shows up in this podcast. I talk less. I ask more questions. I don't pretend I know things I don't know. I actually am just okay to be curious, because like, why would I pretend to know things that they know? They're the expert. It gave me
Yeah.
this really interesting permission to be this really curious guy who didn't have any preconceived notions of what he knew or what he didn't. I'm just going to go in and believe I know nothing and ask a bunch of questions. And then, of course, a couple of people listened, and I can last a month on a good compliment. And someone's like, you know what? You're really good at this. I'm like, well, yeah, well, thank you. Okay, I'm going to do more. joking, but not really at all.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that took off. And through that process, I got to meet a gentleman who I would say helped me change the trajectory of my life, which Collisions YYC has done so much for me besides just talking to cool people. I met Kevin Crow, SVP over at Longview. Was employee number 9. They're now 1,500 employees. He started Give a Mile, which is a charity where people can donate their unused flight miles for people during end of life palliative care to get their family to come visit them. Like, it is absolutely fantastic. Oh, and by the way, on his spare time, he also runs ultra marathons. And I meet Kevin through a friend, and he goes, classic Calgary, we're having coffee. And he goes, Tyler, we should start a podcast. I'm like, okay, well, Kevin, I already have a podcast. So what is this we business that you're using we a lot? And he says, well, he goes, I'm having conversations with leaders in Calgary, and I got so-and-so on this side of the street solving a problem. I got so-and-so on the other side of the street with the problem. They're not talking. He goes, no one's telling these stories. No one's telling what's going on in this city. And he goes, we should start a podcast. I was like, well, I don't know about we, but again, you've got some crazy, like you've got the charity, you've got Longview, you just ran the Moab 240 and like crazy stories of like running in the desert, hallucinating. I'm like, hey, you're the kind of guy, because only people that do that are crazy and they're on their own special way. Let's come on. They just get it. So we have an episode, and at the end of the episode, and this is the moment, this is what leadership can look like. We get done and he shakes my hand and we do the long handshake. He looks at me in the eye and says, Tyler, we're going to do this, right? We're going to start a podcast. And I had a moment. I had imposter syndrome and I had some vulnerability. I said, Kevin, who the heck am I to interview like CEOs of oil and gas companies, leaders in the tech ecosystem, venture capital? I didn't even know who I was going to be interviewing, to be honest with you, but I didn't think I was qualified. And he looked at me and he goes, Tyler, you think when I get on the starting line of a 240-mile ultra marathon, I think I should be there? That I like, who am I to be this guy who even thinks he has the right to be here? He goes, but I do it anyways. And he held the handshake and gave me he kind of bullied me into it, but I call it leadership now. It sounds much better.
Yes, exactly.
And he goes, I said, all right, let's do it. He goes, I'll start sending you guests within the week. And we started doing it. And the best thing I ever said yes to, that I was completely at the time felt I had no business doing. And I haven't looked back. It's just an absolutely fantastic experience. And to this day, I thank Kevin for being a great leader and kicking my ass and pushing me into the path of doing something that I felt a bit uncomfortable with. And it was one of the best decisions I've made in the last couple of years.
Oh, that's awesome. And I almost can reciprocate that same type thing, except I did it on the other side live and video, because no one was doing video 4 years ago. And I was like, a lot of these startups didn't have any content, because again, the marketing mind is going, and here you go. You've got a month worth of content here that you can share. Hey, I'll chop it up for you even. And awesome. And again, it was hard finding the guests at the beginning. Now I could be booked until January, and I'm sure you could be too, right? It's just something that I love, and I have these conversations. And the funny thing is as we're talking about that, I've got BNN on right here, and Amanda Hall's on BNN. And Amanda Hall is a founder of Summit Nanotech. She was on Telling It Like It Is 3 years ago when she was just a little person trying to go here. And so as we're talking, there's no way that you can frickin' plan this out, that somebody was on Telling It Like It Is 3 years ago trying to find funding is now telling her story and signing government contracts with Chile.
I had her on about 3 months ago. If you don't know who she is, go check it out, because she is she is her own force, like has her own gravitational pull. She's a powerhouse. What a fantastic lady. Mm-hmm.
Oh, isn't she, right? Like, and I'm smiling watching her successes, and
that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. That's amazing. I love seeing people succeed. And we've got back to what we said at the beginning. We've got a city full, a province, not a city. It's Collisions YYC, but we don't live in a bubble or an geodesic dome. It's Alberta. We've got some fantastic people in this province, and our ability to network and support each other. I know that happens everywhere, but I still believe it's one of our superpowers here. I think it happens better here, or at par with some of the best places that it happens, if that makes sense.
I think it happens even more here. Like when I've been on podcasts in Toronto, Vancouver, throughout the States, and I don't think anybody is as collaborative as Alberta. And we talked about this before. We talked about Thin Air Labs. I'll get a deck sent to me, and I was like, that's way out of my price range. I don't have the money for that. But you know what? I think you should talk to Thin Air, because they'll be able to do it. Or I'll introduce you to Brian and Metiquities, or Eat On at MCAP, because you know what? They've got the funds and the interest in possibly something like this. That doesn't happen in a lot of other places.
I've been hearing that a lot from guests lately. Like I think we were chatting offline about some of the guests I've been chatting with about the funding ecosystem here and the level of collaboration that's happening kind of in those early stage seed, pre-seed rounds, angel rounds. That really is, again, it feels very on brand, but it also feels like it's a force multiplier. This isn't a scarcity situation anymore. It's like, oh, hey, like I like what you said. This isn't a right fit for me, but I know somebody. Because this is like, we live in a big, small town in this province, and I overuse that, but it's true. And it's true time and time again. And I love, it's why I stay in this. People are like, oh, move to Toronto, move back to Quebec, move to Vancouver. I'm like, no way, man. The quality of life here, the people. And I had somebody on, I had guys on from Neo Financial, Jeff Adamson. And he said, I said, why'd you come here? He goes, well, if you look at it statistically, this is the next place something big's going to happen. And I was like, I love it. And I was like, I can fully get behind that. And, like you've seen over the last 4 years, our momentum in that direction, it's palatable. It's not just a bunch of people going, rah, rah, this is awesome. There's real things happening, and it is amplifying itself like monthly right now.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Again, I'm talking with Tyler Chisholm, the founder of Clearmotive Collisions YYC, and They Just Get It. They Just Get It. I plopped it into the chat comment section, so you can click on that website as well. Take you directly there to find out some more information. So let's talk a little bit about you. What's next for? What do you think? Like, I guess all three of them: Clearmotive, Collisions, They Just Get It. Where are you going?
Oh, what a fun question. The future, one of my favorite topics. Let me shine up my crystal ball here, Jay, and get it warmed up. Collisions YYC, honestly, right now, I'm kind of staying the course because I haven't even come close to running out of cool people to talk to. And I often sit back and, where am I going to go? Am I going to do this? I'm going to do that. I'm like, this is really working. People are loving it. I'm meeting I joke all the times, again, cliche. I would do it if nobody listened because I get to have these fantastic conversations.
Yeah.
This is a secret, but that everyone's probably figured out. It is the best business dating app I've ever experienced in my life. You meet everybody. It's amazing, man. If anyone out there hasn't figured out like why we all do it, it's a door opener to the most interesting people, and you're making them the hero. You can't go wrong. It's such a fantastic platform. So Collision's more of the same. Just want to keep chatting. I'm approaching my 200th episode. So now I'm getting into the who's going to be the 200. So that's exciting. And for They Just Get It, I pivoted it about 3-4 months ago to definitely more along the same themes of like, whoa, these people really get it. But I'm starting to wade a little bit more into the fringe right now. So people that live the non, like my guidance counselor never suggested a bogus shaman as a route, or air tanker pilot, or just had Murray Rogers on, who wrote The Psychedelic CEO, Successful Life in Oil and Gas. Has an ayahuasca experience in Costa Rica, completely rethinks his life, and now is putting it out there to the world to share his story. So people like that I'm having on that are some of this. The fringe is the best way. Is that like the little bit crazier for like our traditional word goes, that's maybe uncomfortable. Maybe I'm curious, because my curiosity, I just can't help it. I think there's no one way to live life, and the more you get exposed to all of the different formulas that are out there that are probably almost guaranteed different than your own, the more it gives you some fresh perspective. So that's really exciting me about They Just Get It. And it's kind of that one's my hobby. Collisions become more of like, it's a thing, and it's got its own little kind of force field behind it.
Yeah.
Clearmotive is really exciting. Like a lot of companies, we had to go through a lot of soul searching, and I'll be honest, the marketing industry, like, again, it's nice to go, because of COVID, there's a lot of things that were happening. The marketing industry is changing. There's different demands, margin compression. A lot of people talk about the challenges with the marketing model. It's still needed more than ever. Sometimes it becomes a dollar race to the bottom. Like, there's a lot of things like that. So how do we specialize? How do we become more specific? So through COVID, I'll be really transparent. We had to take our own medicine. You know who's the worst at marketing themselves? Marketing companies. I'll say that broadly. Maybe like we're terrible at it. We like the shoemaker's kids always have holes in their shoes. Like, it's terrible.
Telling it like it is.
Yeah, 100%. If you want to know what I'm thinking, just ask me, Jade. I'll tell you. So we really, about 6-8 months ago, we sat down and said, okay, like, who's out there that we've done work with that we know we can help? We gave ourselves the specialty talk. How do we specialize? We've got a great business. We have some great clients. How do we develop something that's more product centric, that allows us to go, this is a set audience. There's a large scale of these individuals. They're having consistent problem. We have track record. We're qualified to work with them. We've done work in this area before, but we've never really specialized. So we're leaning in. This is on Wednesday today, Thursday or Friday of this week. We're going to be launching our first official product offering, which is an industrial marketing system that we've identified a need in, essentially B2B companies that build tangible products that they sell to other companies that make their lives better. So if you sell a product to other companies that makes their companies better, and you're in that sub kind of $10 to $25 million top line range, you've gone through a lot of challenges in the last 18 months. your sales playbook is not working the same way as it worked before. Your poor marketing coordinator that is now getting taxed to the max, that has to be good at marketing automation, has to be good at digital, has to be good at SEO, social, they're struggling. There's a level of marketing automation available that most companies have tried something, but they've probably paid for a platform that's now getting underutilized and they're frustrated about. So we've put something together that we believe through our experience and through really, really understanding who our ideal customer profile is. And we're looking at it from a North American perspective. So breaking out of our own referral networks and our own kind of ecosystem to say, once you have something that a target group really values, all of a sudden geography starts to change. Borders start to come down. We're really excited about that. And I'll be very candid. We're happy with what we've created. We know we're going to put it out there, and back to the startup mentality. We know we're going to learn a ton. We know we're going to change things, but we've already got a couple clients that have signed on. So it's really exciting for us to move from a pure service-based model to still a service model, but that's wrapped around a very, very specific, more of a product mindset. And as a service company switching to becoming a company that offers products, it's easy to say, it's been really challenging to do. So we've been kind of taking our own medicine and pushing ourselves to evolve right now. And I haven't been this excited about the organization for a while because we got something new, and I like creating things. So this is a pretty exciting time for us.
Oh, that's cool. And I can't wait to learn more about that. I think, if you're not evolving, you're standing still, and standing still is awful. And I mean, and then you're just going to turn into a statistic. So I love that. Again, for anybody that wants to learn more, the Clearmotive website is in the comment section. Just click on it. It'll take you directly there. So I'm excited. I can't wait to learn more about that. Obviously over our next lunch or whiskey and cigar.
100%. Yes, I check all those boxes. Check, please.
Exactly. So I'm always sad when our conversations are starting to come to an end, but because this has been just a good one. It's been a pleasure. I mean, obviously you're a pro at this, and I said less of me, more of you makes for a really good interview. So I'm going to put a little twist on the last question, and I do this usually for industry specific people like yourself. So if you had one piece of marketing advice for a small business startup, what would that be? See, I didn't tell you I was going to change the question, which makes you think now.
That's okay. No, that's okay. I love it. I love being put on the spot. I like that much more. So I guess so many ways I can answer this. Some things we've already touched on, but put it out there, put it out there, put it out there, put it out there. If it's grassroots, if it's not perfect, it's not a perfect video, it's not polished, it's test and learn. Don't be shy. The market is very forgiving. You've crowdsourced every chance you get, and that's usually requires a degree of content, but don't overcomplicate it. Don't get caught in the perfectionist procrastinator. When you're at those early stages, pick your peer group. Like, for example, before we got to a point where we landed on what this offering was going to be, we said, okay, by the end of this month, which was the end of July, we had to do 30 presentations. Doesn't matter to who, anyone in our peer group that could offer their opinion. And we just got out there and did it. And some got great feedback. Some were like, this is amazing. Others were like, I don't understand what the hell you're talking about. But we just set a goal internally. And all of a sudden, if the goal is 30 and it's just about feedback, boom, you can fill up that list in no time at all. So don't be shy to do that. Get it out. Take your baby. I've heard this said on many guests on my show. Take your baby, show your baby around, and be okay for someone to say that your baby's ugly. And it sounds kind of harsh, but I get it. And that might be involved doing a quick video on your phone. Get it out there, but crowdsource. You've got such a group around you of people that want to help you. Don't ever underestimate that, and understand that your audience. We always chase this elusive group of people that we don't know and doesn't know us. But you step over your team members, you step over your vendors, you step over the people that are maybe using your product, you step over the people that know you and haven't used you to chase the mythical clients that are going to change your world. The people that are going to change your world are already close to you. Get out in front of them and be honest and be open and get their feedback. That's your first campaign is your peer group. And it gets underutilized more than it should, in my opinion.
Boom. I love it. That's a perfect answer, because we talk about getting it out there, finding out if people want it, reaching especially outside your friends and family who are going to tell you how great it is and what a wonderful idea it is. So it is putting it out there. And I said, taking a few punches in the face and hoping people are going to be honest. I want honest answers. I don't care how it is. Like I said, I want it.
Unlike a trip to the boxing ring, drop your hands. Don't put your hands up, because sometimes we are defensive about our ideas. We don't even realize, and it shuts down feedback. Just put your chin out there. And if you take one in the chin, you'll be okay. You'll get up. You'll be all right.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I can't thank you enough, Tyler, for coming on, sharing your stories. You're such a great personality, and for everything that you do in the ecosystem, sharing other people's stories, shouting from the mountaintops, and obviously helping many companies throughout our ecosystem grow and become more successful through Clearmotive. So thanks for everything you do. You're a rock star, and I appreciate you spending a half an hour with us.
Jade, it was an absolute pleasure. I'm blushing a little bit. Thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it.
Excellent. And again, thank you for Bitvo for sponsoring this. Go check them out, bitvo.com. Their website's in the comments section. They launched 4 new digital currencies. Again, another great Alberta success story, but headquartered right here in Calgary. So again, support local. Again, thanks Tyler and everybody else. Have a fantastic Wednesday, and we'll chat soon. Bye-bye.